So I think I said all I wanted to say about the Gardein. I'll keep y'all posted. Y'all know if they don't if one person tell me that they are not getting the discount, I will no longer. Y'all know I'll take that link out of my bio real quick. You don't get the benefit from my content creation, my community, if you're not giving back to my community. Y'all get what I'm saying? Okay. So the issue at the White House on yesterday, I believe it was a distraction. I believe it was a setup and it was a distraction. The setup was at the behest of Vladimir Putin. Okay. The setup was at the behest of Vladimir Putin. It was in support of Vladimir Putin. It was to benefit Vladimir Putin, right? And it was to take down President Zelensky. Now, we've talked about, I went live yesterday over on TikTok, and we talked about how when the war first started between Russia and Ukraine, how the Ukraine treated African students. Two things can be true. Yes, the way Ukraine treated African students, it was horrible. Thank you, Erica Jordan, for becoming a member. Do y'all remember how Ukraine treated African students that were over in the Ukraine? They were studying. I see one yes. One yes. Okay, so maybe y'all don't know. Bougie Barbie says yes. Okay, some of y'all know. Too many of y'all not responding. Sea Life doesn't know. Okay, so when the war first broke out over in the Ukraine, everybody was packing up, trying to get out of the Ukraine into other countries to safety. And what the Ukrainian people, it wasn't just like police officers in the country. It wasn't just them. It was regular Ukrainian people who were now being put into different positions to help facilitate people getting out of the country to safety. And there were a bunch of African students in the country studying for their degrees in different areas. Okay? What the Ukrainians were doing, they were blocking African students, those African students, from being able to load the different modes of transportations so that they too can get to safety, right? They were having like human shields, locking arms, only to allow Ukrainians through to get on trains, to get on buses, whatever modes of transportation that they had set up that would get them out of the country into other countries to safety. They would allow Ukrainians without no blocking whatsoever to get on these different modes of transportation to get to safety. They would purposely block African students from being able to get on to these different modes of transportation so that they can get to safety too. I heard several different rumors as to why that was happening. In my eyes, it was straight up racism. Straight up racism. I heard they wanted African students to fight because this was their, them fighting would be payback to them being allowed into the country to educate. I heard a bunch of stuff. Bottom line, it was racism. So what ended up happening? Those African students ended up having to walk miles. It was like, in my opinion, there were several different videos popping up following the progress of these students traveling from here to there to here to there to try to get to safety. I was like, this is the fucking Underground Railroad. They were walking for miles at a time, trying to get to different borders to cross over into other countries. You had several different organizations here in the United States, because mainstream media wasn't talking about it. It was being heavily talked about over on TikTok. That's where I was seeing all of the updates, over on TikTok. Mainstream news media was not talking about it. So there were several different organizations. I know Roland Martin was involved. I know Benjamin Crump was involved. I know the NAACP was involved. The Urban League, I want to say. I could be wrong about the Urban League. Several different Black organizations here in the United States got involved and worked with several different leaders of African countries to try to get those African students to safety. And I could just imagine how the communications was happening. Okay, y'all got to get to this town, or y'all got to get to that town. If you get to this town, you'll be able to catch a train and it will get you to this country. I could just imagine. Mainstream news media was not talking about it. The first person I saw finally talking about it was Don Lemon. Don Lemon got wind of it and he started broadcasting, talking about it on his show. Then I think the next person I saw talking about it was Joy Reid. And then I saw other Black news reporters talking about it, but it wasn't on mainstream news media. It wasn't talked about on Joe and Mika in the morning. They didn't talk about it. Al Sharpton talked about it. So when I'm talking about support for Ukraine and President Zelensky, I'm specifically saying that two things can be true. Yes, it was fucked up what Ukraine did to those African students. For those of you who do not know, the African students eventually made their way into other countries, made their way into safety. Poland refused them at the beginning. A bunch of them ended up on the borders of Poland, and Poland refused them. Somebody got on the line. Talked with the people over in Poland, and after hours of walk, it was more than hours. It was days of them walking from destination to destination to finally end up over on Poland's border to be refused entry. They had to wait outside of Poland's border for I don't know how long. But somebody ended up on the horn, somebody ended up on the line, and they eventually got let into Poland. It's true. It was fucked up what they did to those African students. It's also true what Donald Trump and J.D. Vance did to President Zelensky on yesterday in that White House was fucked up. Oh, is Dr. Reed still in the chat? It was messed up. It was messed up. I be trying to, yeah. Sorry about that, Dr. Reed. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you enjoyed that and are looking for daily political commentary, please make sure you hit that subscribe button or that follow button, and then make sure you hit that notification bell so that every time there's an update on my channel, you'll be notified. Also, please make sure you're following me out on the social media streets, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Threads, and on Substack. I'll see you guys in the next one.